Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks and the week ahead. We're looking at wave 4 here, minor wave 4, and with stocks, some stocks have pulled down further than others, and the futures market has a different top here as well. But in a bit of a nutshell, we're kind of expecting this to finish off shortly, then have wave 1 to the upside here. I've always sort of considered viewing 62 here, but we'll see how that goes. The extension for this wave 3 here, this all extension here, that would mean that generally speaking wave 1 here and wave 5 here would have some sort of equality to them. And then we would see from that point, we would see an ABC correction come across here. How far wave 2 pulls down, we'll just have to count the structure, but once it's completed and the market's this trend is rebalanced, then we can continue to the upside. As always, we would need to get confirmation that we're going up for wave 3, because if we do make a high here, then it would be possible in Elliott terms to call a top in here. I'm calling a top, but it's just as wave 1 and wave 2 here. So it's just something that we'll need to work through. But yeah, so the beginning of this week here, we'll just be working through this wave 4 here. Let's just go to a 15-minute chart and we'll work through it on that. And so we can see that wave 4s, they can get a little bit messy, and we can see that it's becoming quite messy in here as well. But I think the main takeaway is that the trend down is not quite finished, but it's also reluctantly sort of wanting to move down as well. I won't look at the futures market in this video. I'll do that in the once I finish this video, we'll do the indices video. But generally speaking, we've got a little bit more to finish off here with stocks and so on. And, if we were going to go long, well then, as usual, we would pick the closest, largest number here, and then we would ask ourselves, is that closest, largest number support yet? And we use the classic trading levels pattern to do that. So we'll be looking for something like that with this. And then we can have a look at the NASI. Okay, and this is the NASDAQ here. I could put this over to here and this over to here. I'm still just looking for one more move down now. Yeah, so we'll just allow it to finish off. I mean, we'll know when it's finished off because we'll see an impulse wave to the upside, and we don't want to buy right on the low. We do want to wait for the first impulse wave to move to the upside. We do that because it confirms the direction, and that helps us manage our initial exposure in the market as well. So how far this comes down, I'm not quite sure yet. I wouldn't even be bothered with it really. I just allow it to finish, and once something matures, you kind of can see it, but until it's completed, you don't always know. You can guess it right or get it quite close, and that's good enough because you still need that impulse wave to the upside. Okay, let's have a look at stocks, and we'll be looking at Apple first. But Apple and Tesla have got slightly different patterns going on, but most of the stocks we're looking at will have wave 3 here and wave 4 wherever that's wandered off to. It's important for Apple. I'm still with NASDAQ here at the moment, but it's important for to understand Apple. If you understand this market here where we need to go wave 5 up here with an ABC for wave 2 and then move up from here, then you'll understand when we look at Apple, it will basically be doing the same, even though it's got a different count here, and the count at the current low here is like quite messy. But if you could imagine going up for the NASDAQ in wave 5 here, now how far this comes up here, we'll see, but 61.8%, from the top to the bottom here. So it could be around here somewhere, but this 200 is going to be very sticky as well. So we'll just see how it goes. And then, once the NASDAQ has got the wave 1 in here, then I'll have an ABC for wave 2. So we really want this wave 2 and for Apple and the NASDAQ to be roughly the same, because if the NASDAQ is going to go up, this is going to be pulled up with it as well. And even though this is all really weird here, and also too, we can also view this as being bearish as well quite easily. But as I said before, wave counts are important, but it's sort of a little bit more important that, you know, everything sort of herds off together. Now there's a lot of you know, small problems with Apple. You know, it's sort of a death of a thousand cuts, fundamentally speaking, in its business activities and its environment and so on. But yeah, nothing. You know, it's still producing phones, so it's like she's good to go. But you know, how far will it go? But it should be dragged along with the rest. Anyway, that not interested in it until we get somewhere over here and we can identify some sort of move. Okay, over to Amazon here, and with Amazon, pretty simple here as a sort of ABC pattern here. We can see that, you know, from B to C here, we see the strong third wave in the middle. I haven't really sort of applied myself to this particular low here, but let's just imagine that this wave 4 here could get a little bit more, you know, a bit more complicated here. There might be some little sort of dance here and another move down here somewhere. It'll be something like this. And once we've got this first impulse wave up here, as I mentioned last week, we would look to, you know, build in positions in a lot of stocks over once we got that 5 waves here. But we thought we'd pick about sort of 3 stocks, and we would probably pick somewhere in the leaders of all these. So Amazon would be one of them, and Meta can be another one, but we'll see what they look like when they've finished their corrections. I also mentioned last week too that we're going to be covering we've got another young gentleman coming on covering US stocks. We've got a Alessio that covers 50, and this young gentleman will cover another 50, and I'll put those into the I'll let you know what those stocks are today in the chat section, and I'm sort of halfway onboarding the young gentleman, so we'll get that done as quickly as possible. Okay, so for Nvidia here, I'm also putting it in a wave 4 here. Now I may not have the count right here, but I think it's very important to have this correction in line with the rest of the markets. I'm also a little bit unsure about this here. Now I could go an A and a B here, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. I just feel it's a little bit sort of long to bring it down this far. Do you know? I mean, coming down this far is fine. But you know, I can see that there's a lot of support here, so maybe we could think of 142 or something. You know, 141. Yeah, probably 142, 141 in here. I mean, obviously 140 is quite big as well. But yeah, so I'm not, and I could WXY this. There's a couple of ways I could count this. I'm not that interested in it just yet, so and not really interested in trading this one either. We've got a position in it further down, and well, maybe we can get to 150. You know, that's the medium level there, so we can look at that. I'll just see what it looks like. It just hasn't been moving that well, that's all. Okay, over to Meta, and once again, the basic thing here is that we've got this wave 4 in play with an A and a B and a C, very much like the S&P here. And there's a couple of different ways to count this as well. I could put this down here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I could put this wave 1 over here and wave 2 over here for this as well, and look at this a little bit differently here. But most of the other markets still need to come down a little bit. So I think some sort of bounce and some sort of move down, it'll be something like that. Do you know what I mean? So we'll just see it we'll just wait a session or two. So this could be counted a little bit differently here. You know, the other way is to put this here and try to get 5 waves out of this here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. But it's a little bit tough as well. So kind of got to go to that point. I mean, I could do this too, I guess. I look at that as all of corrective. I kind of prefer it over here. But anyway, just to let you know that, don't spend too much time on that. But we'll just see how this plays out here. And we want that little impulse wave to the upside. Netflix is one of the strongest ones, and I was looking at this as an ABC correction, but it's gone past a little 5 waves here and given me another wave here. So I have to put wave 4 here and put wave 1 here and 2 here. So this is definitely a leader to the upside, so we can expect it to move down and then move up. And if it does move down here, then we'll be able to catch it, on one of these little highs over here, but back over here on this. But I'm not going to leave that there, because in case you look at this, because you've got access to these charts. If you're new to TradingLounge, then this little tab here is the Analyst tab here, and then you can just select which analyst you want, and then you'll be able to see all their charts. Okay, so that's that. So Google's basically fallen out of bed. It's a bit deeper than the other markets, but still we've got the A wave and a B wave here, and we've got to count 5 waves down here. So this could even drop a little bit further here on the open, but these P's here are just P for projections, and because I did this little count with the Elliott Wave algorithm, that's what that little P's there for. But because I wanted to get all the I find the tool fantastic for speeding things up. I can just, I could just look at it a little bit differently and quickly. So, but anyway, it's just not. This is not over just yet. So this could drop down here further, and then do this and then do this here. So it's definitely not quite finished just yet. Right, we need this low to mature. So Microsoft was quite strong, and it's got this sort of high here. I could put this here as an ABC pattern in here and have it finished off, but I need a bigger wave 4 here. I need it to basically break the trend line here. I need to see it over here a bit further. So yeah, I can see a couple of ways that it could go, but it'll be pretty tight and pretty small, but because it's quite strong, but I need more of it here. I'm looking at this here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. That's why I've got the A wave here. So I'm looking for a B wave and a C wave here. How far this comes down, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, so that's where we are at this point with this one here. And we may even push up to the 500 at that point. So quite a long way, but we'll see how it moves. If we get a classic trading levels pattern on top of the 80 here, then that would be good. We can go for that. As I mentioned, Apple and Tesla are sort of doing their own things a little bit, and last week we had this counted up as 1 and 2 and 3 here, and I was looking for an ABC for 4 here, and I still may be able to get it, but it looks like this here is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so a little ABC pattern here. So it looks like it's 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 to come down here. Or I could WXY this, or I could look at it as a triangle pattern. But anyway, I still need the B wave here, and I still need this little move up through here for this. Maybe I could get you a trade out of this one here, because this market does scoot along. It's quite nice for swing trading, so we'll see. Obviously we've got 300 here, then 1, 2, 3 that make up minor group 1, so a tested support on top here would be valid. We may, depending on how far this comes down, we'll see how it recovers and where that 5th wave, that 5 wave structure moves to the upside. So we should be able to do it at 220 here, rather 320. So yeah, anyway, that's that really for Tesla. Okay, we look at Bitcoin, not quite next. I just want to have a look at coin and MicroStrategy for the beginning of the week, and then we'll come and spend a little bit of time on Bitcoin here. So so this is coin here. So this is from the low here. And yeah, I could put this in front, or I could drag it behind here. I'll just sort of see how we go. Like I could put this wave 1 top in over here for this, rather than have 3, 4 here. So do I put it in front, or do I have it lagging? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So it doesn't really matter. Eventually I'll see this wave 2 over here, and this is where we're going to be moving in next at this point. Now that we're at the 300 here, so this was taking part profit at the 300, and the little move up here will be we'll be finishing soon. We've just got a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and then we'll have wave 4 and then wave 5 here, and then we'll see because we'll either have this as wave 3 here or wave 1 over here. Not that it matters. We're going to stay in this market, okay? So that's but it will stick to this 300 here. So be careful if you're trading. If you've got margin on this account. And if we go over to strategy here, it's much the same as the other markets. I'm looking at it with this wave 3 top over here, and then I could look at it a bit differently, but an A and a B and a C wave here. Kind of wanted to come down and test these lows over here. Could I look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and then some sort of ABC and go up from here? Possibly, and this could be, then this just becomes the A wave over here and the B wave up there and the C wave here. I get it. It doesn't really matter. Whatever happens, if this was going to, even push up here, I'd still want to see 5 waves, and then we can get the pullback and go long on that point there. Okay, so we're not quite ready just yet for this one either. It'll be, same old story, nothing to trade and then everything to trade. Let's just have a look at Bitcoin, and we'll have a look at 2 counts for Bitcoin as well. My first count here, is the same as the rest of the stock market. So wave 3 over here with wave 4 here. And, Google's come down a fair way, so this is kind of like that in its own little way. So we've got an A wave here and a B wave here, and then a C wave down here for wave 4. And we can clearly see wave 1 and 2 here. And then we'll see wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So we've got a little bit to unwind here. Now, I could probably count that differently. And in fact, it can be counted like this here, so a little bit of a different pattern here from Zenmi here, so it could be counted like that as well. The interesting thing here is got wave 1 up here and wave 2 here, and I have to say I kind of like that. So I'll give credit to Zenmi for that. If I come back over here and basically take, whoopsie-daisy, come back over here and take his count into the alternative count here. Where are we? BDC here. I could have just gone and looked at his, but I'll just use mine. But so I could put wave 1 in here already and look at this as an ABC pattern here. So we'll see the difference, and we'll see what comes of all of this in due course. So we'll see how far it comes down. If it comes down deeply here, then if I just take this back to, say, 2 hours here, that will be a little bit more practical. There's not a lot of difference between the two of them, but let me just, in terms of how far it pulls back, the 38.2% is here, so that's around the 95 sort of area. So we'll see if it goes to 95, or we'll see if it becomes in between the 50 and the 60, and that should be able to sort it out for us, I mean, obviously the support is over here as well. So we'll just see how it sits at the 38.2%. And if it was going to move up again, if this was going to be a wave 3 here with an ABC for wave 4 coming back to the 61.8%, then it'll just come back up to here somewhere, and then we'll end up having, the ABC, a bigger ABC correction, then going up from that point. I'm sort of hoping this is the case here, but hope doesn't really get you too far. But yeah, we'll just see how far it pulls back, and then we'll be able to work out which count is correct. I think they're both kind of valid. It does put Bitcoin in front of the other markets, which I don't mind, because it is a kind of, a leading market. But yeah, I'm not in a rush to call this 1 and 2 in just yet. Do you know what I mean? I want to give my wave 4. I want to give my wave 4 a really good chance to play out here. There's the 38.2% here. and then just getting one more high. And how far this comes up here doesn't really matter. It won't go too far. Yeah, and then we'll have this this ABC pattern coming into play. Be very exciting once we get over here. This will be, because we have to prove to ourselves that we're going up for the third wave rather than, you know, going down for one, back for two, down for one, back for two here, and then down again, you know, having a larger top in play. So it's only until we get over here that we'll understand exactly what's going on at that point. Okay, well, that's it. Enjoy the week ahead, and thanks for tuning in.